It's not quite the done deal yet. Despite reports at the weekend that a post-Brexit reset deal had been agreed by the UK and EU officials, two issues are still proving to be sticking points in final negotiations, we've learned. Yes, despite reports at the weekend that a post-Brexit reset deal had been agreed by UK and EU officials, it's not quite the done deal yet. The Independent has learned that last-minute disagreements over European access to British fishing waters and the flexibility of the UK's youth mobility scheme are still proving to be sticking points. Prime Minister Keir Starmer will unveil the deal alongside European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Council President Antonio Costa on Monday. But a potential breakthrough which would allow British travellers to use EU passport queues and e-gates, cutting wait times, has still not been formally agreed. While reports in the Sunday Times and The Observer suggested the deal was done, sources have told The Independent there are still some significant issues to be resolved before the UK and EU can announce a new post-Brexit partnership on Monday. A UK government source said, "There is nothing to be announced tomorrow. It is not a done deal." An EU official also told The Independent there are still some issues to be resolved. They said, "We are still working on it. It is not finished." Despite this, both the Prime Minister and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen are expected to travel to the UK on Monday for what would be a very symbolic day for both sides, with the announcement of a new reset in the relationship. The UK and EU have been locked in a series of spats in recent months over a variety of issues, including the Northern Ireland Protocol, Brexit, fisheries, and the European Convention on Human Rights. However, the two sides have been trying to put those arguments behind them and focus on a new, positive agenda. Areas of cooperation the UK and EU want to focus on include shared food standards, a carbon trading scheme, and young people's exchange programs. But two very controversial issues, EU access to British fishing waters and the UK's youth mobility scheme, are still proving to be sticking points. While the UK wants to limit EU fishing boats' access to British waters, the European side wants more access for their boats. On the youth mobility scheme, the UK wants the freedom to offer fewer places for young Europeans to come to the UK compared to the number of British youngsters going to Europe. This is designed to encourage young people to travel east rather than necessarily heading to Europe straight after school or university. However, this has angered the Europeans, who say it is unfair to limit the number of places available for young people from their countries. Officials from both sides are still working to resolve the issue ahead of Monday's announcement, but it is understood there has been no breakthrough over the weekend. A source said, "There are still some difficult conversations to be had. It's not done yet."